If you've ever watched your football team lose on a last-second Hail Mary and have your heart literally snatched out of your chest cavity, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode. I'm just kidding. Welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. It's Monday. We're going to make better coaching decisions than my football team made. That's for sure. And we're going to extract some money here. Week before the election. It's Halloween week. Spooky trades abound? Question mark.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Live Trading. I gotta say, I need the Live Trading family here today. I need them here today. Appreciate you, Fairchild, Che Rice, man. Oh, it was bad. It was bad. You cannot possibly win games in this league if you have a coach that doesn't even belong in Pee Wee football. It is just wow. But it was a good weekend overall. And you know what? We're breathing here on a Monday morning, so that's always good. Also, we do have the SPYs higher here. It's Halloween week. Fall, it's hoodie weather outside, so there are some good things going on. Let's bring on 13 and see how his weekend was. 13, how are you holding up, my man?
I'm doing much better. Let's trade.
You're doing much better than me, or you're doing much better than yourself last week?
I'm doing much better than a Bears fan, that's for sure. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm getting. I got over that whole thing. I'm just, trying to cough out the rest of what's remaining. I'm good though. Let's have a good morning.
You sound good. Well, I tell you what, we do have some stuff going on here, and this is gonna be a week of earnings. So, like I said, part of me, here, let me just bring up the chart here because I kind of want to tie this to the SPY discussion. Part of me thinks that this week could be really busy. It's the week before the election. This is a very contentious election. I suspect we're going to see some movement, maybe some positioning ahead of that. On top of that, we have a pretty full slate of earnings. We had On Semiconductor this morning. We've got Ford tonight. We've got a bunch of other pretty big companies this week. So there's a lot of stuff going on. Really, the question is going to be, does the market actually respond to this, right? Like, do we have high volume? Are people trading? So far, it seems to have been kind of a wait and see approach until the election takes place. We'll see if that continues here this week. But that's going to be one of the things that I'm watching as far as numbers and levels go here on the SPY. We're flirting with that 582.30 level. We're actually right above it here this morning, 13. But we'll see what happens when the market actually opens. We are beneath the trend line as well. So I would imagine if we trade up here, that will come into play at some point. We'll see which direction we go here. But what do you think here on the SPY, 13?
Well, it looks like we're getting a bit of a lift here after there was, the start of the Israeli response to Iran. They were attacking on Friday, and because they didn't hit any of the nuclear oil infrastructure, I think we're seeing the SPY rise as a result of that. Additionally, because they didn't hit any oil infrastructure, oil is starting to trend down some more now. As hitting the oil infrastructure would cause prices to rise, and we would see oil lift as a result. So until that happens, it seems like oil's trending down, and the SPY is going to continue to lift up, probably slowly. But one thing to point out is that what Israel actually attacked were military targets, but there was a lot of defense targets they took out that were guarding those nuclear and oil infrastructure facilities. So that could be next. So we might be seeing a possibility of an opportunity where we have a chance to get into some oil plays cheaper. And when that strike does happen at some point, should it happen, we'll be well positioned for that spike.
Okay, good stuff there. We'll see. You got any gut feeling on how the SPY trade or the broader market, maybe not even the SPY, just the broader market, how it trades here today?
I think it may Today might just be muted, just because I don't think there are really too many big names reporting this morning. I think all that comes in the after hours, and then from that point on, the rest of the week we have 5 Mag 7s reporting this week. We have GDP and PCE this week, so we get our last real look at the economy heading into the election. So those could be some big reports to watch for. Those come out on Thursday and Friday. Aside from that, I think it's just going to be today, maybe not so as exciting as the rest of the week's going to be.
Okay. Okay. Good stuff there. You want to talk about the movers, and then we can maybe come back and go into some of the stocks that moved. I want to mention, we'll mention 2 here real quick. First of all, we discussed a new AI stock recently, NBIS, and I apologize for the chart here. This is actually from before. We talked about this on Friday. This actually ended up having a great day. Sure looks like we're looking for a 20 breakout here on this AI name. So one that we recently mentioned so far is rocking pretty good here. I actually just got a starter. Unfortunately, I didn't even get a real good position here on this one. But the other thing that happened here this morning, the other news here, Boeing doing an offering. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this here today, Boeing down about 1.34%, doing an offering here. I tell you what, the bad news just cannot seem to end here for Boeing. You think we lose some of these lows here? Look, I'm actually a little bit surprised. The reaction here this morning doesn't seem as weak as I would imagine.
Well, we knew this was coming. This is not out of the blue. It may be earlier than expected, but we knew that they were going to raise cash because they were talking about making an offering before they even started talking about potentially selling off some of their space assets. That's one of the things they actually also mentioned on Friday, was that they're going to have to start selling assets that aren't really generating revenue, or that are just kind of eating cash, and not things like the Starliner. The one that's got 2 astronauts stranded. Yeah. So things like that. They're looking at some of that. Maybe some arbitrary defense, names that just they never really got off the ground or aren't getting contracts. Things like that. They're trying to go back to being more of an airliner and defense contractor, like they were when they were getting doing well. Aside from that, this cash raise, we already knew about it, and you asked me about the level. I'm sorry. Let me take a look at the chart here.
Yeah, well, basically, you're kind of already hitting on one of the things I was asking about. Is the bad news here baked in, right? We just talked about how Boeing really can't seem to get out of the way of bad news. Is it baked into the price here? You're correct highlighting that this is already known. Geo saying the same thing. XIII is 100%. This is not news. We already knew that they were going to need this, so they're doing it here. So, I mean, does this represent a near-term bottom for Boeing?
I would say only on the thought that if they can't get not able to sell these assets, or if they run into regulatory issues trying to sell some of these assets, because M&A has been having a very difficult time lately. CPRI, we just traded that one. You can see why. So that would be the thing that's kind of going to be sticking in the back of my head, going, well, this might run into this problem. Because the things with the problems with Boeing seem to be never ending. So they need to catch a break here. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it isn't a near-term bottom. It does look like this is trying to put in a bull flag, but seeing the rejection of the 50-day SMA, I think that's the level they need to recapture. And we just lost the 20 this morning. So we need to see some support real soon, and we need to recapture those simple moving averages. Otherwise, we're going probably into the 140s.
Okay, we'll see if we get them. Let's go ahead and roll through some of the movers. We can come back and take a look at any of the charts that you folks want to take a look at. First one here is going to be EVOK. Now, we haven't traded this one recently, but I know we've traded this one off the relative volume scanner before. This loves to move, and this morning it's no different, up 114% here in the pre-market. You can see actually we had the initial impulse spike take us to almost 18. We've backed off about 30% of that move, and we're kind of trading sideways here, which is really good. This range should be pretty tradable. Basically the low here that we made in the pre-market, let's call it $11, and the upside here, I guess we could call it 14, but realistically looking at about 13.5 there for a potential breakout. The catalyst here, Evoke Pharma shares are trading higher after the company announced the presentation of GLP-1 data for users with diabetic gastroparesis, using Gemoti That's probably not how it's pronounced, but that's the name of their drug, and I'm going to roll with it, and showed statistically significant improvements. So you're getting a GLP-1 headline here, ticker EVOK, stocks up 113%. What do you make of this one, 13?
Yeah, so I don't know much about what this data they have here for their GLP-1 is really meant to show here. I don't, was it like a specific kind of patient that this is for? I really don't know, but let's look at some of the other things. The float is 727,000 shares, so it's going to be one of those easy things to move around. They did a 1 for 12 reverse split back on August 1st. They do have cash. I don't think they're in any risk of having to make an offering anytime soon. So because it seems like they have a good runway. So I don't think that that's an issue. As far as some levels go, it looks like we are blowing through some EMAs some early EMAs, but one of the first areas of resistance are going to be at $11, where it's kind of breaking through right now. But I think when I look at the weekly EMA, there's a 65 EMA on the weekly chart that indicates that this could run into resistance around 1258. So that would be an interesting level to see us get up to. If we can get past this 11, 15, 1130 to 1130 area, I think we could see that 1258.
Okay, there we go on EVOK. We'll see where this one ends up here. Again, I just wanted to get a look here on the daily chart, see if we popped into one. Yeah, did find some resistance at one of these previous levels. Okay, EVOK, we'll see if that one gets moving here. Good stuff on that. All right, next stock here, and this actually looks like it's really ramping recently. I didn't have this one on this, or I didn't have this on my sheet earlier. This is ticker AMIX Autonomics Medical, excuse me. Autonomics Medical shares are trading higher after the company reported preliminary results from its clinical trial of RF ablation technology, RF ablation technology, where 100% of its responder group was able to eliminate opioid use and reduce pain scores. So pretty good PR there. The stock ramping here. This was $8 on Friday, up 143%. So another biotech stock ramping here. This one I'm not familiar with. I don't know if I've ever traded this one before. I certainly don't recognize it. Not a whole lot of short interest, but very, very small float. So very much like EVOK, this under 700,000 shares in the float on average trades just over 25,000 shares, or excuse me, just under 25,000 shares. And today we're already over 6.5 million. So just a huge move here on AMIX. Do you have anything on this one, 13?
Oh, yes. This one.
Yes.
This one did a recent reverse split back on October 25th. So just last week, It was 1 for 20. That's why we have a float of 670,000 shares. Now, as far as the data goes, I thought this was a super interesting because eliminating opioid use and reducing pain scores, there's been an epidemic of opioid use, and it's one of the reasons why we also have issues with fentanyl in this country as well. So seeing that we have something that can eliminate opioid use and still reduce pain scores, this could be really, really big. Now, as far as the news goes with the headline that they have here, I was trying to figure out how far along they were, and it's according to their website, this is a proof of concept trial that they're in, and usually that will happen at the beginning of phase 2. So I think that's about where they're at right now. And if it's a question of how much cash they have in order to continue this, they have about 2 quarters of their current cash burn rate. So that's where they're at. This could end up being a pretty good one this morning. And apparently, we're already getting some really nice movement. So I think because you have the big opioid epidemic that we have, combined with the news of this could be a really, really good theme going forward here. So let's keep an eye on this one today. I think we did get some good movement here.
Okay, now as far as a trade goes, I'd actually really like this to pull back, come into one of those support levels before we actually take it. Don't necessarily need to chase this right out of the open. So by the way, EVOK did kind of bounce off the bottom end of this channel. That's great to see here for trading purposes as well. Okay, moving on here. Next is going to be HCTI. This is Healthcare Triangle. Healthcare Triangle shares are trading higher after the company disclosed in a filing that it'll acquire the business assets and operation relating to cloud and technology domain of Secure Cloud Technologies. So actually not familiar with Secure Cloud myself. But anyway, this is a penny stock as of Friday. We are in dollar territory today. So far, we're trying to hold on to that dollar level. You can see it's kind of coming back in. We lost the VWAP. We'll see if we're able to hang on to that dollar level there. Short interest here, pretty negligible for this low price penny stock. Float 3 million, so definitely kind of within that range that we're looking at here. They do burn about $1 million in cash per quarter, and they don't have much on the balance sheet. So 13, what are you thinking here? What's the plan here for HCTI?
So Secure Cloud, HCTI was a subsidiary of Secure Cloud, and they listed them on NASDAQ in 2021. So now the subsidiary is apparently acquiring almost all of the technology and cloud assets of Secure Cloud. They have 3 million shares in the float. Like you said, they do need cash, but beyond that, I don't really have a whole lot of information. I'm not really sure how this this acquisition of their assets is really getting paid for or going down either. So not too sure about this one. I think we're just going to have to rely more on the mostly on the technicals, as I don't think the news is particularly strong. I really don't know what to make of this one. Let's just rely on the technicals, and if we get the volume to trade this, we'll trade it. If not, we have some other things that apparently have more better movement.
Yeah, and I think that's a good call here. We don't necessarily need to be a hero here. What the technicals have been what's working on a lot of these different trades, whether they're smaller stocks or bigger stocks. So I think sticking to that's a really good idea. Okay, I'm going to keep moving here down the list. Next is going to be PXDT. This is pixie dust. Wonder if they're getting into the pixie dust here this morning. Looks like this did pop in the after hours on Friday up towards 350, and it has been a slow bleed since then. Looks like their shares are trading higher. The company recently announced it will delist its ADR units from NASDAQ Capital Markets and submit a deregistration application with the SEC. Doesn't really sound good. Stock's up 50% here. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I might not want to touch this one.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm feeling too.
And I think the whole reason why we even got a pop this morning is because if you look at the balance sheet of this company, it's pretty substantial. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know what where this company is, so I'm not sure if the currency that they're using in this their balance sheet is dollars or not. I don't think it is. But if it is, then then they're very undervalued. So I think that's why you might have got the pop. So this thing's delisting. It's got a market cap of 10 million, but it's on the balance sheet. It's got like over $1.5 billion of cash and other assets. It's like, well, I don't know if that's dollars or not. And we're delisting. I don't even know if it's worth my time to really dig into this company and see if there's anything worth researching into that to set up a trade for. Again, with just like we were talking with HCTI, maybe just stick with the technicals or not at all with this one.
Okay, good stuff there. I probably, given some of the other stuff that we have here today, I'll probably pass on this. Okay, next here is going to be ticker GLUE. This is GLUE. This is Monte Rosa Therapeutics, so another biotech here. Monte Rosa Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced a global license agreement with Novartis to advance VAV1 MGDs. The company will receive $150 million upfront payment and is eligible for additional milestones. That's pretty good cash infusion there. So what do you think's going on here with GLUE? If I take a look at the short interest, we can see that recently has been climbing. I almost wonder if this is going to kind of spark any type of run to cover on that. They do have cash on their balance sheet. They're burning cash, but they still have a pretty good amount. And obviously it just took 150 million here with this piece of news here today. So 13, what do you make of this 33 million float stock GLUE?
Didn't quite cover this one. I see that the short interest is fit. Well, that's on the little smaller. Okay, yeah. So it is about 15.5% of the float shorted. 7 days to cover. So got a little bit of a squeeze candidate here. I didn't look into this one too much, so I didn't see if there's anything that we should be worried about. I guess the insider selling is something to be concerned about. There's a lot of that in September. But they also seem to have an upcoming catalyst as well that wasn't part of this movement we're seeing this morning. You can see last week on Wednesday, they are going to present at a conference in Spain. I don't know if that has happened or not yet. but it looks like no, it's already happened. It happened late last week. So never mind on that catalyst. Then I'm not sure exactly what to make of this company, but that license deal is pretty good. Financials look fine, even though their company's losing money. They have enough of a cash runway for at least 2, maybe 3 quarters. So I would say let's try and trade this as a squeeze.
Okay. All right, that at least gives us a plan here. Real quick, I am going to pick it up here. I know we've got 7 minutes until we open here. RVNC, this is one that we've definitely traded before. There actually might still be holders of RVNC out there. I can't remember. Revance Therapeutic shares trading higher after the company announced it entered into a 6th amendment to its exclusive distribution agreement with XIII. Teoxane? I don't know how to pronounce that. Taoxane. That one caught me here. So RVNC, this is actually popping up 27% here today, are doing a really good job holding above the VWAP. The pre-market formation and volume actually looks pretty good in this name. So see if we get an opportunity to trade this here. This one does have 10% of its float shorted, does have a days to cover over 5, so something to keep an eye on there. Didn't really see a whole lot there on insider selling. As far as the financials goes here, boy, this company sure burns cash. They do have 2 quarters of cash left, cash runway left here, but boy, oh boy, they burn cash. 13, what say you here on RVNC?
Well, I didn't take a look at this one, but I will try and take a stab at that name that you were having trouble with. How about Teoxane?
Teoxane, that sounds a lot more correct than the butchering that I was trying to do with it.
So large float, 90 million shares. The float has about 10% of that shorted with 6.79 days to cover. We could see a little bit of squeezing out of this, but the size of the float has me concerned that we might see this get those pops here and there, but ultimately slowly throughout the day.
Okay. There we go. I should say. Some other stocks to mention here. Mira, this is actually up. This popped in the after hours on Friday. Mira Pharmaceutical shares are trading higher after the company's new preclinical data showed Ketamir 2 achieved 60% greater efficacy than the FDA approved treatment. So this is flagging here. Would be one really to watch. 150 looks to be the upside spot here. If this breaks down through 135, 130, probably call it a day on Mira. Did you have anything on this one? I was just trying to roll through it real quick.
No, I'm looking at some of what the chat is asking for. So I'll talk Tesla in a bit here.
We'll go over that. I'll just the last 2 that I wanted to cover here. PHUN. This is trading up here. Looks like this is fighting with the 12 level. That's of course doing the same thing with DJT, which is popping here. A huge rally at Madison Square Garden that was packed to the rafters. End quote. Also worth mentioning on this same theme here. Spotify trading higher here in the pre-market. Spotify shares trading higher after Wells Fargo maintained an overrate rating on the stock and increased its price target from 420 to 470. Also had the Trump Rogan podcast. Last I checked on Sunday, that thing had 33 million views in not even a couple of days. So just an absolute monster there, just like we told you what happened there on Friday. Okay, let's go back to the to the chart tool here. You wanted to do some levels for Tesla, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, what do you got here? We got a breakout coming on Tesla at 270.
So if we get that breakout, I think the next area of resistance you're going to want to look for is at 279. And I'm drawing from the highs we made in September of last year. That seems to be where the next resistance would be. And if we can break through that, then we'll be testing, I think, the July highs from that same year. Alternatively, if we break down, I would be looking at, I think I had 250, either 259 or 260 as a potential support level. And I'm drawing that from some of the basing that I was seeing in some of these areas like December of 2023, the support area from July this year in 2024. So I think you could see some support from that area between, I guess we'll call it like between 265 and 260, that we could get some support if we start to see it weakening. But that breakout looks imminent, and I think we could get 279 if we break out.
Okay, really simply put here on Tesla, as far as levels, we are at a breakout spot right now. Let's just call it the 270 area. If we break this 270 area, yes, I do anticipate there to be some more resistance at 280, but frankly, I think we probably have a run towards 300 on our hands here. If we were able to break down, watch this gap fill, right? I know we've got the 50-day in there at about 231.5, but watch if we do break down for us to fill this gap. If we get a whole terrible slew of bad news, I would like to see Tesla kind of hold its 200. I'm not sure if that's in the cards here, given some of the performance we've seen recently. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here on Tesla. Okay. Did you want to do
30?
You got a minute 30. Is there anything else? Cade Father, Ryan, can you take a look at Mara? Sure. We can take a look at Mara here. Actually, let me go ahead and pull Mara up. I've got a Bitcoin chart here. Does look like Bitcoin at the highs here, just shy of 70K. I do expect a breakout there pretty soon. Mara here, you can see we rolled over, at least on the candle here from Friday. We kind of rolled over and we had some expanding selling volume, which is unfortunate. Really couldn't get above that 200-day. That's what I'd like to see here. Mara, though, along with Bitcoin, a little bit higher today. So we'll see if this can really kind of break out. 1772, I would imagine we'd see a little bit of resistance there at 1814. If we trade up there, but the 200-day at 1915's really got my eye on that. Do you have anything on this 113?
No. Well, I think we were being asked if Bitcoin's going to break over 70 and rally higher. What was the all-time high in Bitcoin anyway? Is it 78 and change? Let me double check here. Because I think the conversation of whether or not we're going to break out a new all-time highs is something we need to.
So on the futures, on the Bitcoin futures, which is /BTC and Thinkorswim, I have your all-time high at 74,415.
Okay.
So I know those numbers are a little bit different just because I chart so much of my Bitcoin in Thinkorswim here. I'm just accustomed to looking at /BTC.
So I would say that the big resistance area we need to get over if we break 70 is going to be 72. And then I think 73,850 would be the one after that. That's the Bitcoin all-time high I have on my, not a futures chart, but it's just a regular chart. 73,826.19 is the all-time high I have. So if we can get above 72, that would be the next level, would be that all-time high.
Okay. Good stuff there. Let's see what we got here. AMIX first move here is higher. It looks like that just kind of got sold. EVOK. This is another one that we were looking at. Sorry.
AMIX is halted.
Okay. AMIX halted. That didn't, that went fast, didn't it?
Yep. Didn't take long. So there's that one. EVOK to make a choice here.
Ooh, yeah. So EVOK. So this is interesting. Right on that range that we talked about. Let's see if it looks like it broke 11 here. Okay.
This could come back in. It's been trying to get above and hold VWAP all pre-market. Ever since we ran to that 1731 and came back in, it has not been able to hold above it for longer than 5 minutes or so. So we need to get it back and start closing above VWAP. 1220 is going to be the spot that I think we need to get over and hold. After that, 1420, and then the pre-market high of 1731.
Okay, we'll see if EVOK gives it to us here. What else are you folks trading?
Well, let's see. We got HTC. No, that's not that one. That's the wrong one. I'm sorry. What's the?
You're good, dude.
I didn't plug in all the names we were talking about. Just a couple of them. HCTI. That one down out the gate. Let's see. And the other one was PXDT. These two, I'm not so sure about. Yeah, PXDT. That one's lost $1. And it's also may have lost my interest.
It also made you what? Lose what?
Lost my interest.
Oh, okay. I was like, what do you lose there? What do you lose there? That was pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's see. EVOK breaking down here. We'll see if that turns around. But so far now, HCTI so far bouncing off that $1 level. See if this gets rolling. And then Jay Harris, you're mentioning Tesla. We can take a look at Tesla here.
Yeah, that one's lower out of the open, but it's still trying to hold up around the 270 area, but it's losing it. EVOK, that one's lower. HCTI trying to push up to VWAP. What else we got here?
So Tesla, kind of a wild open here.
Mm-hmm. SPY looking like it's. So here we are at that 582.30 area, trying to decide if whether or not we're going to hold this level or not.
So SPY, this is interesting. Looks like it pulled and then got bought right back. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if that holds then.
I mean, out of the open, it was holding. It was trying to hold that 582.30 out of the open, lost it and reclaimed it. So that's that kind of indicates there may be some support there. We'll see. I was trying to reverse. Now, if this reverses and starts to go higher, I have the 585.27 previous all-time high level that we can use for the next resistance. And also, we have Friday's high, which was 584.46.
Right here, HCTI right back to that VWAP. We'll see if we can get through the VWAP there. Well, it looks like you folks are shouting out a bunch of tickers. I apologize for not paying attention. Fairchild taking a look at Carnival here, CCL. By the way, we'll take a look at AMIX when that gets out of halt here. Carnival first move here higher. CLDI is also a ticker that is mentioned. That one here, another bio stock. This actually right at VWAP. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Motion was mentioning EVOK, and I was just seeing that this was
there it is.
Well, kind of going back and forth. It's trying to get back above that 1220 level, but it's losing it.
Now, this EVOK here, clearly this one pretty wild stock. That 11 range that we took a look at here, that's holding, although it looks like it just totally reversed here. Oh, yeah. Careful on this one. Buy and dips seems to be the way to go. Those breakout moves look like that's going to get you slapped there. So wow, big breakdown here on EVOK. That happened fast. Is this going to halt to the?
It might, but if it keeps on going down, it's probably going to end up finding support down around 925.
Okay, 925. We'll look to see if that's a buy spot then. Lynn and Randy mentioning Wolf here. This is popping right out of the open. I don't see a buy signal here, Randy. I guess maybe if you're playing upside breaks here, maybe a break of that pre-market high, but I don't really see a buy here. I'd like to see this pull back. Not in it from last week either.
HCTI trying to push up to 135. It seems like there's a pretty sizable wall there, so I don't know if it'll break through that, but at the very least, there's a potential for 15-cent capture here.
HCTI still kind of battling with its VWAP. Let's see. I've got its VWAP at 118 here in TradingView. We're actually above it. I've got it at 116 in the prop. So it's a little bit lower here. AMIX is open.
NBIS is ripping too.
That's I'll tell you what, the worst thing for me is when I buy like starter positions like this and the starter position just starts going, it makes me feel like, what were you doing, dummy? You should have bought a lot more. But I mean, realistically, this thing can kind of pull back here. So far, so good. Looking pretty good here. MBIS. We gave that to you on Friday.
Yeah, the thing is that if we get over 2450, we're going to gap fill.
Okay.
So hold on to your hats. Okay, so now we're everything except except one that we mentioned this morning is halted. And I'm talking about the four that we initially talked about. So HCTI halted, AMIX halted, EVOK halted.
Okay, HCTI halted to the upside. AMIX halted to the downside. Let's take a look at EVOK and see what that is looking like. Oops, that's the wrong ticker. EVOK halted to the downside. So some action here. Some action.
Spoke to mentioning glue. We talked about that. Line Atlas taking Google profits. Well done.
By the way, this HCTI halted to the upside. I know recently trading some of those halt stocks, I have no position going into this halt. And honestly, after some of the last halt stocks, I know that trades worked out, but being trapped in a halt, I'm okay not being in a stock that's halted here this early in the morning. My heart had enough of a day yesterday. It doesn't need more exercise here today. NBIS at 21 right now.
Looks like Bitcoin is having trouble getting through 69,000. If if we pull back a little bit, it might be one of these situations where it comes back later and tries to hammer that same level again and makes it through. So if we start to lose it here, we'd have to wait for the next setup.
With saying halts are so fun though, Ryan. Honestly, like no lies detected there. Sometimes they can be really, really stressful, but you're right. Especially recently, they've been fun. I'm not in any of them right now. I'll wait till I get some here really quickly. DJT ripping out of the gate here. I would imagine PHUN is doing the same thing as those often do. No, PHUN not ripping here, so maybe a little bit of divergence there.
Remember the CEO that everybody loves from PHUN. Remember he's leaving.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the big reasons why Fun even was getting the movement that it was, because the CEO is a big Trump fan, really good at pushing the stock and pumping it. So if he's gone, then we might lose the DJT PHUN connection. So just
okay.
Keep that in mind. That's something that could happen.
Hey, here's how I'm going to handle this. I'm going to let the market. That's all good, and we should go over all of that information. We should follow it. The way I'm going to handle this, if the market stops trading these two in tandem, then I'll stop thinking about them in tandem. But if DJT goes up and PHUN responds or vice versa, I'm going to keep looking at that connection until it doesn't exist. Fair point, though, on some of the fundamentals in there. Okay. LTBR, this pulling back in a little bit. This glue actually looks pretty good. Smoke Tuna, I know that you're on this one. I saw someone mention drug. Looked like drug was moving here.
Is it back, really?
Is which one back?
Drug. Is it back?
Drug? Oh, I mean, maybe it's moving here. Low volume though on drug, so we'll see. TWG
still very high RSI on drug. Be careful.
Was TWG the caviar stock? Is that what this was?
I saw that one this morning. Yeah, this is the caviar one. Yep.
Caviar and other caviar-based gourmet products.
Glue might see
Tom says at some point we need to discuss the competency of the coaching for the Bears. Tom, look,
let me tell you,
I could do an entire 3 or 4 hours on that. I'd yell, my face would turn red. It's really a shame that every game they go to play, they are outcoached by the opponent. You had a quality team yesterday, dead to rights. You had them beat. You had them locked down. You had their amazing offense totally locked up, and you just kicked it away because of his poor coaching. We'll do that another time. I promise.
EVOK opened, headed lower, got down as low as 960. Turning around now. I don't know that it's actually reversing at this level. I was looking for 925, but if it is, then keep your eyes on it. We might be able to get a trade here, at least back up to VWAP.
Okay, I tell you what. At least until this can show some strength, kind of feel like that's kind of risky going after that.
Right. Just watch it. That's what I was saying. Just
no question. You're right about that. I'm going to keep rolling through some of these stocks here. Porch Group, PRCH. I know we've traded this before. Penny stock going for that $2. We'll see if that rolls. Wolf. So this was the impulse move right out of the open here. Now we're flagging. Now it gets a little bit interesting here on Wolf.
Yeah, that looks good. That looks like that could really take off out of that flag.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Is that a 1 minute flag you have?
This is a 1 minute. Yep, this is a 1 minute. And I think really as long as this holds the $7, it's probably all right here.
Interestingly enough, I have VWAP at 698, so I agree.
And I have VWAP here at 695, by the way.
Oh, perfect. So as long as it holds VWAP, we'll just say then.
UPXI, this is one of the halt extravaganzas from last week. Smoke Tuna mentioning that here today. Ooh, stock down 19.5%, although I see what he was saying. It looked like that maybe that was gearing a little bit more. Okay.
NBIS went as high as 2165, and now it's coming back in. That was a nice move.
Yeah, that's the AI play there. That'll work for me. I'm not trading this actively, FYI. The starter position, I'm holding this. I mean, if this really starts to go, yeah, I'll take gains on it and wait for a pullback. But given the AI theme that we're seeing here, I'm looking for more than just a couple of points, especially if it's not a huge position. HCTI is open. Looks like, oh my, and this is going to halt again.
Wow.
Yep, so halted again, 149. This is the pre-market high halt. Oh my goodness.
175 could be next out of the next halt. This is the one we were saying, let's just trade the technicals because I don't think there was anything really fundamental here.
Okay. And now you have look at this. You have expanding volume, all buying volume. This thing pushed right up to a support level. Now I'm not in this. I've got no position in this, but I gotta say, if I were trading this, I would think that the next move out of this halt is up based on what I'm seeing here with the volume flow and the price level. So we'll see. No position. Kind of wish I was in this, but nope.
It's okay. We have other things that we can trade. Let's see. So EVOK still trying to turn around. I remember this is one that we're just going to watch, see where we can find support, because it's kind of trying to discover that right now. This is the one that could not get and hold above VWAP all pre-market. So there's caution that needs to be exercised here with this one.
Yeah, now this one is wild and can move. There was another one that we saw on Friday that kept breaking down. Do you remember what name that was?
That kept breaking down?
Yeah, it was like it showed like it was going to go right out of the gate, and then it went lower. It took another leg lower. We called it, I can't remember the ticker. Oh my God, it's going to bother me.
I have them on my list here. Let's see if I can cycle through.
It was just one of the day trader ones that we had on the list
right
from the morning. That's all.
Was it EFSH? No. The 1847 holdings?
Yes, it was. That's 13. You are a wealth of knowledge, man. Here it is. Look, we had the initial push, then it broke down, then it broke down, then it broke. It never bounced. This is the one thing that we want to make sure does not happen in EVOK. Fine. It looks like it's trying to hold in here. Maybe we do get a move back to the VWAP. There's 2 points. So that would actually be a pretty decent trade. But we really want to make sure that this does not continue to break down like we saw on eFish on Friday. Great job there. Your notepad is bailing us all out, 13. Let's go.
That was just my watch list. I just had it left over from Friday. But Bitcoin over 69,000. It popped above it, and that's trying to hold, but not sure if it will. Also, just want to kind of mention this because I was talking about it a bunch. I don't know if anybody ended up getting any, but EYPT got some more of their Duraview news, and that one's up this morning. Very slow moving, but I'm trimming into this.
Yeah, no, this was really good. You gave this to us. We were talking about this at 8. Really good move here, 13. I should have followed you into this one. Shame on me, man. Shame on me for not doing that.
There's things that I should have followed you into that I didn't, and I missed the boat on that too. So we can't be in everything. I've said that before. We can't be in everything.
You'd like to, but we can't.
Zim was getting asked about.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll take a look at it, but I don't know what the catalyst here for the movement is. It's probably the fact that there was not a substantial escalation in the Middle East, like as there would be if nuclear and oil infrastructure was attacked, as opposed to just the military targets. So it could be easing off of that. Let's see if there's any other news. Not seeing anything recent. There was stuff last week.
EVOK, by the way, this really did turn around here. EVOK. Congrats to anyone that did play that here. Is this halted at 11? No.
It might be. Let's see. I don't have it.
Oh, yeah. This might be halted here. You're right. Halted.
Yeah,
EVOK halted to the upside. Okay.
So EVOK. All right.
EVOK.
So yeah, I guess that was that reversal spot that we get. I was looking for a little bit lower from a print, but that's fine. If we're reversing, great. We're above VWAP for the moment. We need to get back above 1220 though. That's been the big area where it's been having a hard time trying to get above and hold all pre-market basically. So that's the level I'd be watching for next, 1220.
Okay. Look, full disclosure, after the FOMO appears has got me this morning, I did take a little bit of that EVOK into the halt. So I'm in a little bit. Let's see if we move up here on EVOK. We shall see. Real quick, going to highlight this comment here. Lion Atlas saying, Ryan, if you're the one who picked 13 to be on your team, then bravo, bravo, as my friend Smoke Tuna said in French, LOL. That comment has so much goodness in it, Lion. I'm really impressed with that. But really quickly here, yes, I did select 13 here. 13 has been very, very dedicated to this since the moment that I met him. And the entire modus operandi that I operate on is put capable people around you to make yourself better. 13 fits into that. Glad that you see what I saw in 13. So 13, take a bow.
No, I appreciate that.
If you're like, no, I'm not taking a damn bow. You're embarrassing me enough.
No. I'll take a bow on performance, but no, this is okay. This is, I appreciate all the wonderful comments, guys. For me, if we all can make money, if we can all do what we're doing, make this community, we can all point at different things that we could get some capital from. That's great. That's what I really want. So rising tide lifts all the ships. That's kind of been the whole the thing for me here. If we can spread the knowledge, spread the positive vibes, good attitude, and try to help each other make money, we'll all be successful.
And apparently you're also an extremely capable surgeon, which I didn't know. I will call you when I have trouble the next time. By the way, back to reality here. XIII out of a halt. Bang, right up to 166, halted again to the upside here. So for all of you that took XIII, excellent job here. Again, looks like the show is printing some money here.
175 was the level we're looking for. Couldn't even get to that before we halted in XIII. Because we were talking about that breakout out of the halt, the 150 breakout. We couldn't even get 16 cents before it halted again. Maybe 175, and then it comes back in. Or that would be my guess. But so we'll have to see if that's what happens.
Glue here, Smoke Tuna. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you had mentioned glue on this volume push through VWAP. Someone did here. I apologize if I'm not citing it correctly. This has actually continued to grind higher here. This doesn't have a lot of the wildness that we've seen in some of these other stocks. Might have been fairly easy to trade here. Ticker GLUE. This looking pretty good.
AMIX, I believe this was halted and we dropped down here. Found some support from VWAP. I don't know if we're going to turn around here or not, but it looks like this support is holding up for now. I just don't feel good about the price action right now. It feels like it could weaken and lose VWAP again. Let's take a look here at some of these other names. Okay, so Bitcoin now pushing higher, much further into 69,000. Current high 69,251 is what I have. And what else? I'm waiting for Wolf to turn around too. That one had a pretty good looking flag on it. So we'll see if we get that. Volume needs to be better though. Let's do this.
So we're still waiting. Okay, so we're waiting now on HCTI and EVOK. EVOK should open up first.
Yep. That's
still got another $1.17 to the VWAP. Be interesting to see where that goes when it opens up here. And then we got Chipotle. Okay, so you guys want to take a look at some of the earnings. Smoke Tuna is mentioning EYPT. As that looks like that's continuing to go. Great job selling into that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at EYPT here. Great stuff, 13. VKTX getting mentioned. Sorry, go ahead.
I got to shout out Zoltan for even putting it on my radar all those many months ago.
Yep.
Wouldn't be here with that without him.
Another aspect, and actually the first time when we traded EYPT, I've made a bunch on that. Again, it was Zoltan. So just another aspect of the team mentality that we've kind of put together here. Really good stuff. VKTX, another good mention here. VKTX 80 prints. This one has been on a huge run. Glue, which Tuna had mentioned earlier. This going, EVOK is open and this one going lower. So it looks like Ryan's going to take an L here on this trade. Let's see if we bounce. If we sell off past right down here, we're going to have to cut. Looks like it's halted to the downside. 989. So there we go. I try to play a halt. I end up getting slapped in it. Yikes on EVOK. We'll see what happens when this opens up now. Not good here also, on EVOK.
Wolf losing altitude as well after falling beneath VWAP, not able to hold it. So hopefully we don't get hurt on this one as well.
Glue real quick. Impulse move up to 758 and then backed off. Hopefully it took some gains on that move. DJT new highs as it traded above 46.
$8 in glue looks like a big breakout spot. If we can get up there, that we could see some really good movement. We've had after hours high of 802, pre-market high of 797. You average those out, you got 8 pretty much. And I think that's where we're going to see the breakout.
AMIX looks like that came back to VWAP here. This is another one that had a halt right there out of the open. AMIX.
Yep.
Bitcoin still holding just shy of 70K, but not looking terrible, still above 69.5. PRCH, Porch Group, watch for this to maybe take out 167. This test actually might be coming now.
So HCTI, man, we hit our target. We were looking for 175 out of that halt. We got as high as 190, and it came right back in and halted again at 160.
Okay.
Ring that register if you that was
look really at this. We'll get set to ring the register here. Look at Glenn out half of his DJT swing at 45.62, 1789 in gains. Glenn, oh my goodness, monster swing there on DJT.
We might not see him.
Not a stock I feel comfortable swinging, but grats, dude. Get rewarded for what you're doing. That is awesome.
We might not see him for a while. That's a killing move. That's a killer move.
That is a killer move there. Absolutely.
And the fibs, hey, we talk about the fibs, frequently. He traded that off the fibs. They work. See if they can incorporate that.
Tom mentioning Chipotle here. Chipotle has earnings tomorrow after the close. Chipotle here actually looking really good. This is above 60, looking for 61 here. Chipotle has been strong recently. It does look like we're coming up to a consolidation area here. I have no position on Chipotle, so I'm not actually playing it for the earnings. Tom, are you in this for the earnings? Are you trading it around the print? What are you thinking here?
Oh, jeez.
GMM penny stock getting mentioned by Smoke Tuna, who's in fuego right now. Look at glue. More new highs here on glue. Great job, everyone trading that. This is easier than the halts names that we're trading here today. Smoke Tuna's all over it. Carmen EVOK is crazy here. Looks like that really kind of came back up towards the VWAP and got slapped into another halt.
UYPT and 12 angle now.
You still got a trailer on that one? Are you all out of that? You're still cooking?
I'm still waiting. As a matter of fact, I can probably tell you where I think I'd want to be all out of this particular trade. Let me just take a look here, because for me, I think I'll be completely out of this by 1550 if it gets that high. I think this thing could, go well into the 20s, but I'm just trying to do one particular trade here, because I do expect this to come back in and find support. And when that does, I'll probably be on the trade again. They also have earnings on the 30th, so that could provide a catalyst for movement as well. And that's a couple days from now. Yeah, because I was only on the whole EYPT trade for the news that was upcoming that they've already they released last week and this week. So I'm looking to restart the trade once I take profit from the movement today.
Okay, good stuff there, 13. Good stuff on that one.
I know we've I think he's asked us earlier today, but Will was asking about Serve. I know I saw SERB in the chat earlier today. Asking us about it. From what I can tell here, we got a silver cross that occurred last week. Looks like it's trying to push up to 13. I want to somewhere between 1390 and 14. It's just got some consolidation to work through back from August. But if we can get up to 1390, I think that we could see some resistance there. Also monitor the RSI. It's not extended quite yet, but we're at 63. So
EVOK is open here.
And lower, I think. And
lower it goes. Let's see if it bounces here at all, but just be careful. I think one more flush down lower, just gonna have to take an L on this halt trade here. We'll see though. It has moved up and it's been wild.
Mm-hmm. So if we don't get support soon,
see. Yeah,
support.
it basically has to hold here. Otherwise, I think it probably comes into a 6 handle. We'll see if that can retake double digits.
I think 715 might be our support area before the 6 handle.
We shall see.
Yeah,
we shall see.
All right, and HCTI still halted, but that might unhalt soon, I think. AMIX still trying to hold VWAP. We can turn around here. 2150 would be the breakout spot. Looks like NBIS following a bit of selling is trying to get some support. UIPT pushes higher into 12.
Glue continues to push higher towards
nice.
8. We'll see if 8 ends up falling here for glue. HCTI is also resumed here. This one actually trying to bounce on HCTI. EVOK starting to go sideways. I just careful. This could really still flush here. And actually taking a look, volume is actually still pretty decent here. Careful on this one though. I think that if this, it just lost 9 here. I think we probably go lower here on this one. Yeah, and stopped out of this. So EVOK, unfortunately that didn't work. We'll see if we can get that rolling here again. Yikes on that red trade here on a Monday.
Yeah,
almost like that was a Hail Mary, huh?
Glue.
Sorry, look, glue. Man, you have to sometimes.
Glue right up approaching 8, looking for the breakout here in GLUE.
We'll see if we do get a breakout there on glue.
Oh my lord, UIPT is just fantastic. AMIX kind of sideways now, still trying to get support from BWEP. Watch for that to hold or not. Depends. EVOK still trying to find support somewhere. Thinking if we continue lower, it's going to try to get some more support. Maybe even a rebound to VWEP after we touch 715 area.
So AMIX here, this has actually done a great job staying above its VWAP there. We'll see if we can get it. That EVOK, unfortunately, that has just been so wild around the VWAP. It's going to be hard to time that. I almost feel like you kind of have to be in it. If this reclaims 9, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Glue. We need to see that volume expand to blast off out of 8.
DJT looks like this pulled back to the VWAP trying to go higher. Saw a couple of you mentioning on semiconductor. So what happened here with the pull down? Were they doing their conference call?
That might have happened. I think you're right. I can't verify that without looking, but I think that given the timing and where it's at in the pre-market, that could be what happened. Because
they were higher here and it looked like it really yanked. I wonder what took place on that. Let's see.
Profit taking would be the other thought.
Yeah, I don't know. The market bought it pretty much right back up. This is right where it closed on Friday, post those earnings.
Yeah, why did it open so? Oh, never mind. Still having a hard time getting above the 200-day SMA.
HCTI trying to trade here around this 150 area. That is trying to go higher. KUK, that's a penny stock. That's trying to go higher. GNLN, this actually trying to break out and go higher.
Yeah, JJ, you're right. I just saw that too. AMIX got a knife beneath VWAP and halted. So this is the be careful thing we were talking about.
So the halts, not as much of a party as they were on Friday, it seems. That looks like a little bit of a back and forth there, although EVOK maybe curling here. We'll have to watch that. Try and get that money back on EVOK.
Careful with those revenge trades.
Yeah. It's gotta have a setup that makes sense. GLUE busted through that 8 and went higher.
Perfect.
The guidance was not great for on semiconductor. Okay. But it still got bought back up to even, which is interesting. PRCH, this is kind of flagging here above the VWAP. Like that this is holding in here. Watch for that double top. Let's call it 175, going to be your next resistance level higher here. It's only 10 cents away from where we're at. We'll see. PRCH, I'd like to see some more volume flow into this name to really get that level taken out. See if we can end up grabbing that. OKLO, looking like the nuclear name going higher here. Jay Rice mentioning, notice how the nuclear name's only energy sector green. So OKLO doing it. That we would also mention SMR along with that. New Scale Power. Look at this one. Boy, this actually really good trading. The pullback to the VWAP, those are really good setups.
The breakout in glue was just phenomenal. That break over 8. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Didn't take that one.
I didn't either, but this, it was just really good setup. Really, we identified 8. We were looking for 8. It broke 8. It ran pretty good. I don't know how much it goes, but that was a really good setup.
Good deal there on glue. That was a tuna call.
It was.
That was a tuna call from this morning.
All right.
A lot of good stuff here.
Hitting $13.
Tuna mentioning that this is squeezing here. Are we getting a squeeze on EYPT? Good eye point.
Nice. That means this is pretty much a numbers bottle.
Brian here, some of y'all are addicted to glue. Better than huffing glue. Am I right, Brian? We picked the wrong day to stop doing that. Get a question here on how you look, airplane is always going to be a classic. Getting a question here, Brandon saying, how did you identify 8? So a lot of the times on some of these pre-market movers, especially if they have a catalyst associated with them, you're going to want to take a look at some of the pre-market levels. Now, I don't know if there was a level mentioned here, 720, but you can see this 720 pre-market high right here. Well, look what the price did in the regular session when it traded up there. It actually did find resistance twice before finally punching through it. Next one here is going to be 764, same deal. And then lastly here, that impulse move that carved this entire range out, that took us to 8. So this, of all of the levels here, this one the most significant to break, and not a surprise, when we broke it, we actually did move quite a bit there. Now that we're past 8, Brandon, I wonder if this is going to kind of back test that level and show some support there at 8. That might be another setup for a trade here. Ticker GLUE.
Oh my goodness.
What happened?
I'm just watching EYPT and just
okay.
going into it.
I thought there was going to be another huffing glue joke coming.
No. The only thing glue's huffing right now is your accounts. This thing, yeah, we talked about it earlier. How in the after hours on Friday, it got as high as 802 and pulled back in. It got as high as 797 in the pre-market this morning and pulled back in. So that identified 8 as a very strong potential breakout level, and that's exactly what we got here in the regular session. Now, if we do start to come back to that $8 level, we're going to be looking at it as support. How, whether or not it holds, not sure, but I would think that the very first move back there is initially a bounce, but it could eventually fall through in the minutes following.
Real quickly here, ticker SNAX is popping. This is Strive Foods. I'm trying to see if there's any news, but I can't seem to. Strive Foods Monday. Yeah, Strive Foods announces strategic partnership with Dot Foods and secures nationwide distribution with major retailer.
Nice. Motion is mentioning HCTI downside halt.
Yes, that did have Strive Snacks, by the way, still going here.
Holy, somebody's snacking. So
they're doing more than snacking. They're having the full meal, 13.
HCTI, the one hope you have here for support is that it's halted above its VWAP. At least that's the VWAP I have here. So
it is.
You're going to want to view that as the one of the last areas of support before we fall back into the consolidation channel from pre-market.
Okay.
Wolf turning around. That looks pretty good.
GNLN gone. Another breakout here. So this one here, you guys were mentioning this. Crow, you were mentioning this one. Crow, I wasn't watching this one as close of an eye as you were. So I wonder, does look like one of the breakout points here was 3. Just kind of using the same thing that we used earlier to determine some of these breakout points. Looks like $3 was a breakout move here. GNLN printing with those. We got above 340, didn't we? Yeah, 343. Wow. Wow. EYPT 1331, almost lead price there. Watch for 1337 for all you gamers. AMIX, after those halts, that actually broke the VWAP and has not been able to reclaim it. That's trouble. Webcoin, appreciate you. Snacks had similar news on October 11th. Be careful, they're low on cash. Boy, we got this team fired up here.
Love
today.
to see it.
You love to see it indeed. Did porch break out yet? Here it goes. It's going. PRCH.
Get up and off the porch. Here we go.
Up and off the porch 13. You are flying today with the one-liners.
All it took was me getting sick for a weekend.
Hey, but you shook it pretty well. Honestly, you shook it pretty well.
When I start to get sick, I absolutely
Me too. It's the worst, man. It is the absolute worst.
I will stop talking to people. I will just sit in my house, drink as many fluids as I can, take all the vitamins I need to take without overdosing it, really, and just get the rest. I want to get over it as soon as possible. I hate being sick.
Okay, hello, continuing to move here. When I get sick, I like to bust out the Harbaugh mentality. I like to eat an apple, do some push-ups, and then have a workout. That generally makes me feel better. I learned that directly from Jim Harbaugh. Okay, hello here, up near the highs. Jay Rice, that nuclear theme really, really working here. How's some of the other stocks looking? I know we looked at SMR. That was great. Even NNE, which seems to be the laggard of the group, still doing well. SMR new highs. Man. VKTX new highs. So I'll tell you what, Jay Rice's portfolio, happy here today.
Yeah,
Happy here today.
Glue pulling back, also getting some pullback in EYPT after a really nice run, hitting 1333.
That's probably healthy, honestly.
It is, yeah. I still have some left. I'm waiting for a little bit higher, and then I'll be all done.
Watch what happens here at the VWAP EYPT. Meanwhile, the new AI name that we talked about on Friday, ripping here, stock up 11%, more new highs here today. The profit takers that took some, that got bought right back up to the highs, cruising here, NBIS.
Looks like I got to double check and make sure the other one is doing well too. Yep. Looks like Lunar and ASTS are having some pretty decent days. They're not up substantially like these other ones, but they're both up at least 3%. Not sure if there's any relationship news happening between any of these, but just seeing space stocks in general up is a nice sight.
Snacks looks like this pulled back. SNAX looks like this pulled back, but this might be gearing to go. EVOK, Crow, you're thinking this retest 10. So earlier when we were talking about this trading sideways, I think it was actually right in here. It ended up breaking down. Now it does look like it's trading sideways here. If you're going to trade this one, and I might here again, I know we talked about the revenge trading. We're going to use a small size here, but I might kind of just look at this range for a gauge of entry and exit. Still have a pretty 50, 60 cent range there. So that's nothing to turn your nose up at.
It was mentioned earlier, I think by Smoked Tuna, if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. But GUTS, guts. This looks like it's very low volume, so it might not work out the way we hope, but it looks like it's putting in a bit of a bullish pattern here on the 5-minute chart. And to me, it looks like if we do get a little bit of volume, it's going to try at the very least push up to that 273 pre-market high. So we might end up getting that now. That would be the breakout spot for me, but the volume is very, very low in this one. Okay. I don't know that we're going to get that breakout. Just watch for expansion, and then we will.
EYPT looks like that pullback might be getting bought here. 13. I'm going to step away for just 1 sec. All right, my man?
Sounds good. Jonathan Cooper, you're mentioning RGTI. Let's take a look and see what that's doing. RGTI. Rigetti Computing. And this is breaking out. So we have some levels here. We have a 140 level that I can, maybe 140, 145. That's on a daily chart going back since almost the beginning of the year. That looks like a spot that we're going to break out. So we continue to get that volume expansion. RGTI could push up and over that. Just keep in mind, we are very extended on the daily RSI. So if you're trading this, might be a good idea to sell into this upside. I don't know how high this is going to go, so I don't want to tell you to go all out here. But the RSI is very high on the daily, so I don't know how much longer this party is going to last before it needs to come back in and cool off. Yeah, EAF. I saw that was doing pretty good this morning as well. That one also looked like it's trying to get above 210 itself. Been trading above VWAP for most of the morning. And we get some more volume expansion. Looks like it could go higher than 210.
Which name?
That's EAF.
EAF. Oh, that's Jay Rice's EAF, the Graph Tech.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder. So this was actually a decent. I actually made money off of this call. I was buying this in the 150s and selling it near 2. Now we are breaking out there. I was actually hoping I was going to get an opportunity to reload this, but I haven't got it yet. So not in this, unfortunately. Made money off of it though. Made money off of it. GNLN, this going more highs here. Looks like a 4 test took place.
I don't have that one up on my screen yet. Let's take a look here.
GNLN, wow. You mean?
Yeah, that was a nice breakout. Look at those. See, you had the pre-market highs getting rejected. That was a great breakout level. $3 seems to be the breakout spot on this one.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. This is the one that we talked about earlier. This now took another full $1 here, though.
I never looked at it. So
gotcha.
Seeing all that on my screen for the first time.
Look at OKLO continuing to run higher here. I tell you what, this most recent run, I've looked at OKLO several times thinking, hey, maybe we can get to a spot where we can buy this. This thing has just been running away from the VWAP. Got to wait for a sell-off here before we're looking to buy this one.
Wolf might do something here. It's curling back up. Intraday high is 724. We're making our way back up into the 7 handle. It's already there, but it's pushing up. We might get a big move here in WULF.
Wolf, that was the Lynn and Randy special from this morning. That thing ripped right out of the gate. We did get, okay, so this did pull back to the VWAP. That's good here.
HCTI says motion. It's open. So this is trying to turn around here around VWAP. It looks like I'm not
right
sure
at that VWAP. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know that that's exactly what we're going to get, but that'd be something to watch for. We just need to see this. I would need to see this candle close above VWAP at least.
There does seem to be some size there at 143. If they can take that, maybe they send it to 150.
There is guts. Just what we were looking for. Got that volume expansion. It wasn't a whole lot, but man, did it moved up there.
That's ticker guts. I was like, oh, there it is.
Broke out over that that level that I was talking about, the 270. I believe it was 273. So and it's ticking higher. Might hit 280 in a bit here, but this is very low volume. Just be careful, folks.
Nice job there on the guts. Here's HCTI. Looks like that is trying to bounce here. We'll see if HCTI can bounce. Otherwise, watch for that to lose VWAP.
EVOK coming back.
Here we go.
It's gonna, at the very least, it might touch the VWAP and then turn around and go back lower.
Let me bring it on screen here. I was waiting for somebody to do this where there's no guts. Where there's no guts, no glory. Crimp Biscuit, not disappointing. Not disappointing. Okay, EVOK, careful there. So it did look like it was going to curl there, and it got that pullback. Pullbacks seem to be the thing to buy here, not really those breakouts. It does seem to pull back pretty briskly. Yeah.
Those breakouts tend to be great moments of liquidity for the sellers.
Yeah.
So just don't get caught in that. And BIS 2180, the high of the day, still trying to break that. It seems that we could get a little bit more volume. We could take that out, but might need a little bit more time, maybe another 15 minutes or so. Guts on the verge of 280. That was a great little slow mover.
Yeah, it was a good call too. Good call. PRCH, this is still kind of flagging sideways. Watch that double top if that falls. EYPT, this looks like this has kind of been a win. Oops, clicked on the wrong name. It's been a winner from today. Maybe that returns back to those highs. EYPT. AMIX in breakdown mode. That's going full pumpkin. GNLN, this came back to its VWAP.
And I just saw somebody say, Jonathan Cooper, RGTI hit the 140. Couldn't break, couldn't break through that quite yet. We're not breaking down. So we still have a chance here to break through 140, get up to 145, maybe higher. But remember, the daily RSI is telling us that this thing should be sold into in the short term. Wolf breaking down now, lost VWAP. Oof. I do not, Mitch Davis. I'm not very. I don't have a strong opinion on social media. So
actually, one of the things that 13 has said is that one of the reasons he's happy and in a good mood so often is because he avoids social media. Yeah. So keep that under your hat.
You want to be a happy person, go on social media. Guarantee you won't.
That could be a quick way to ruin your day. That much I can speak. That's why Mitch, respect. Yeah, I feel that. I'll feel that one. Serve, you guys were mentioning this. This is still holding near the highs. That has been a pretty good trade as well.
Yeah, that one held up really nice.
Yeah, it did. Rigetti, that's up at that 138. Snacks, that lost its VWAP and went lower. OKLO will not pull back. These nuclear names just not pulling back.
Yeah, hey,
Glue getting mentioned here again. Tuna, you've been all over this one. Looks like we might have another high-a-day break here on Glue. Watch for an 850 challenge.
AMIX was mentioning that it looks like it's going to get hit some more. That it's X-Typer was asking me if it's going to turn around. If we are going to get a turnaround, my thought is going to be around 1250. We could get some support. That would be my earliest area. Glue trying for new high a day. Now I do have some social media accounts. Like I do have an X account that I use to look online, but I don't post anything. I feel like there are some little tidbits of good information you can find here and there on social media, but for most of the most part it's just vitriol and hate and wild stuff.
SNAX looks like it did just pop back to its VWAP there. Actually popped above it, but got sold into it. DJT looking for new highs as we speak on DJT.
It feels like it's been almost the entire show, and it's only 10:20.
Yeah. IBRX, this was another one that we talked about earlier. This up near that pre-market high. If this falls, I'd watch the intraday high from yesterday. That's 750. Full dollar there if you're able to break that. Like DJT did just recently set a new high there. SMR still move. Yeah, SMR is actually, did OKLO pull back at all?
I should probably look at DJT here. Okay, so wow,
a little, yeah.
So next level I have for DJT, it got pretty close to it already, but 46.75 is the next resistance area I have for this one. Seems like it was getting it a little bit early, around 46.50. But we break through that, then very good chance that 50 is on the table for today.
Okay, well, there's a lot of stocks. Sound getting mentioned here in the chat. What's going on with SoundHound?
That
nice little move here for SoundHound today, up 7.8% or 7.6% here. A good volume too today on SoundHound.
Thanks for the mention on the data, Jonathan Cooper. We get the Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index in a bit.
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear. We also saw this mentioned earlier this morning. TIGR, nothing with green bars. That one. I haven't looked at that one yet, but
I haven't looked at that one today. But Tuna, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you trading Tiger recently? This is a Chinese name. Am I getting?
Yeah, it's a fintech. This is one of these big
Chinese
runners,
fintechs,
big fintech runners that we had in 2021. I remember this one. I traded the hell out of it.
Yep, that's actually a pretty decent move here.
HCTI getting some volume.
Tesla getting a spike here. So Tesla, this has been a little bit. Tesla looks like it's going green. Here we go. So Tesla pull back right out of the open and a red to green move here on Tesla. How's the broader market doing with this move? SPY about flat. Not a whole lot here. Tesla looking strong here.
Yeah. So for Tesla, we're looking for the upside of 279. So if we continue with this, that's where I would be looking to take profit and say thank you very much for the nice day.
Smoke Tuna saying called Tiger at the Open, TIGR. There you go, Tuna.
I remember that.
Way to get it done. Way to get it done every day, Tuna.
All right, EYPT, get me out of this.
Another move up here at 13. You're just printing today.
EYPT is doing me good.
Yep. And not the first time either. Not the first time on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to be singing praises to Zoltan happy hour chat later.
I hope Zoltan shows up for happy hour today. We'll have to make sure he's available. It's EYPT. This has been a great move.
No, I not anymore, bro. I'm getting over it. But thank you. NBIS.
PRCH. This is one that was this looking like this is going to try and break out. We'll see. EVOK. Is this curling here? Nope, not yet. Still trading sideways.
NBIS. That one's trying to push back up to the intraday high of 2180.
This is NBIS. That's that AI play.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Oh man, I'll take this. Look at this. Look at that little move. That's another happy hour gem right there.
Yeah, and we had just discussed it literally the day before.
I know.
Less than 24 hours had passed before that thing started moving, and that's, I mean, this goes all the way back to what I was saying earlier about, the more people we have looking at things and pointing things out, the better we'll all do. This is exactly why.
And I'm also expecting some more due diligence on this. I was too wrapped up in football this weekend, but I'm going to be learning some more about this company here. OKLO, by the way. So we talked about that little kind of a mini pullback. It's just this one candle here that pulled us back from 23.20 to 22.70 and now new highs. So Scott, happy hour is a Benzinga Pro client Zoom call that happens every day, Monday through Thursday, as soon as the market closes. So you have to be an active Benzinga Pro member. OKLO continuing to push higher here. HCTI. So here we go. Maybe we're about to break out. What do we got there? 160. There it is. Literally, as we're talking, it's trying to go.
Yep. It's got to do some work first. It's got to get back above 175, and then we can talk about it taking out that high a day, which is 190. We break 190, 2 is the next level I have, and that's going to probably get taken out pretty easily. After 2, I have 255.
Okay.
Wolf, not breaking down, but still slightly beneath VWAP.
I'll go to Wolf here in a second. Spectral AI. This is another AI name that we've kind of talked about. Wolf, WULF.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Smoke Tuna mentioning Newton, NT or NWTN.
That guts was a great call earlier. And the volume is still like super low, but this thing is just up. It's on a trajectory to 3. Just very slow moving, but still moving up.
What kind of volume have we traded here on Guts today? Not even 1 million shares yet. 863,000 shares on Guts.
That's probably what it takes to trade it.
I mean, stock's got 20 million shares in the float. I wonder how much of that is locked up. 30% institutional ownership.
Yes. Well, okay. So Smita Patel,
Ooh, GNLN. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
go with it here. But GNLN right at the VWAP. Watch for this to move here. Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. Yes, so Fun and DJT, they probably feel like that, but most of what we're doing here could probably even be considered gambling. The thing about Fun and DJT is that you're really only trading one thing when it comes to the movement on these. You're trading Donald Trump. So if he has a good interview, if he makes a mention, or he does almost, this could be the Kodak of if he gets the presidency. This would be his Kodak. You know what I mean? Remember Kodak when he was president?
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point there with Kodak. I wonder if DJT is going to trade differently after the election. I would imagine it has to.
Maybe.
We'll see, though. We'll wait and see. But I agree with your overall premise here. You're actually kind of trading the Trump coattails. And I mean, there's no other way to say it. He had an excellent weekend. And so I'm not surprised to see the stock gapped up here. Mind your technicals, though. Mind your technicals.
Okay, so EYPT 13.99 high day here. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking for 15 so I can be done. But if we start to look weak here, I'll just exit my position and wait for it to set up later.
Now, GNLN, by the way, moving through the VWAP, we just flagged this one. Tuna's been all over it. Let me ask you, so your EYPT, when you say you're done, you're done with just this piece, right? You'd still be looking to re-add if this came into one of the levels that you'd be asking about, or that one of the levels that you flagged, if it pulled back, like you'd still be looking to trade that again, right? You're not done with it.
This whole the reason why I even own this right now is because I was trading the news that we were getting today.
Gotcha.
So now that we're running on this news, I'm selling into it, and I'll just wait for the next setup.
Gotcha.
Because
okay.
There's still more news coming. This is further down the line.
Okay. Good stuff there. EVOK. Now, wait for a 975 break here to maybe confirm that move up to the VWAP. In fact, I don't even know if I want to say confirm the move up to the VWAP. This really has to show us that it's going to do it here. This thing's kind of been wild. We'll see if it can get above 975 there, though.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to try to get over 10, but as soon as it hits 10, it could come right back in.
Yeah. And we've seen that on this name here today. Glue, by the way, looks like this is kind of trading sideways a little bit. Porch is, oh, look, it did it. PRCH, it took that out. This didn't trade this one here, but what a grind here. That double top gone. Looks like Porch actually has some room to run here. Oh my God, look how key that level was. This was going all the way back to September on Porch.
Breakout levels are working so good today.
Next spot, I think, on Porch here, I guess you could call it 194, 195, but I'm almost thinking 2, honestly. PRCH. Good call, whoever brought this one up earlier today. Good stuff. I'll tell you what, the chat scanner is popping. 13. Chat scanner is working here today. Overtime.
I think I need a chat scan.
A chat scan. All right.
Still hope for EVOK? I think that's...
It's not breaking down yet.
Mm-hmm. But it looks like it will at some point. Let's see what happens when we get back up to VWAP. All right, Wolf making its way back up to VWAP.
Sorry to interrupt. EVOK testing that 975 as we speak right now. Now it tested that spot and backed off a little. It didn't break down, which is good news, but it wasn't able to get through that spot yet. So let's see here. EVOK.
DJT rolling over, looking down at 45 for support now. VWAP slightly beneath that. So let's see where we get the support at with DJT.
Let me flip over to that. We're still waiting here on EVOK. So the level that we want here on DJT, 44.5. Sounds about right. EVOK. Let's go. So we are through that 975. Let's see if we can really kind of get rolling here.
After EVOK, take a look at Glue. This one has been trying to get above the 845 level, and then it got rejected and found support at VWAP. Coming back up for another attempt. I would think that somewhere between 845 and 850, there's going to be a breakout spot. Maybe even a little bit earlier than that. But if we start taking out those levels, this thing is poised to run a little bit and make new intraday highs. Let me see if I can figure out where this could go. This may end up going to 885 if we break out of that current level. That's the next spot I see.
Okay. On Glue.
Here we go.
EVOK,
Okay.
right back to 10. All right, peeled some of it. We're getting this money back, 13. We're getting this money back.
That's awesome.
We're getting this money back, baby.
That's awesome. And we could pull here. Remember, we were talking about it. We get 10.
Some of it's already booked, baby.
Dude, awesome.
We're not going to rely on a Hail Mary. Not today.
Yeah, so look at that. Right to the VWAP and rejected. That's exactly what we were talking about happening.
Now, see, your VWAP on EVOK?
Yeah.
Your VWAP must be way different. I got mine at 1171 here.
Oh, no, mine's at 1014.
And it went right there. That was the high print, actually, of that candle, wasn't it?
1011. So pretty
okay,
close.
so it was 3 cents off. Okay, so it was real close.
Yeah, real close.
It was real close there. Jane's still waiting for your caviar. EYPT, great little bounce off of its VWAP there. Way to go.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so there's another, the support from VWAP. Yeah, see that. Might get some consolidation here in EYPT for a little bit. Just waiting to get out of my last little piece that I have before I'm done with this one for a little bit.
DJT did bounce off that VWAP the first time around. We'll see if it goes higher.
All right. Dude, that was the call with EVOK. Absolutely.
Yeah, that one was good. That one was good. Came back in here.
All right. And glue looks like it's going to try and get 3. Man, that thing, this is... Oh, man, that's just funny to see a stock do this well on almost no volume.
Well, it's you mean just this recent candle? Because it's traded 30 million shares here this morning. We're not even at lunchtime.
Wasn't most of that... let's see here.
No, I'm just mean on the day. It's
or on the day, not
yeah, no, you're right. That's what I was saying. This in this window, the candle here is pretty weak, but been pretty good.
All right, DJT losing VWAP. Next support level is going to be at 43.
Glenn, what do you have on your Fibbo levels for DJT? Your fibs.
Yep. Bust out the fibs.
And you know what else we might have to bust out the fibs for here is OKLO, because this is going to continue to move. So here's didn't you have me draw this trend line last week? I feel like this one from the 2 times. Okay, so 25 and change maybe on OKLO?
Somewhere up in there, yeah. Maybe as high as 26 if it takes some time to get up there. You know, just be careful because we point this out all the time.
Yeah, and look how extended this one is from the VWAP. Man.
Now, one thing that's coming up here that could give us an extra lift on the technical side is that there is a golden cross imminent that could happen this week.
Oh, here, you know what? Let me go to my other chart for that 13. I got one set up for that.
There it is.
And here you go. You're talking about this right in here. Now, is this also the 500 day?
Sir, yes, sir.
It is. Sir, yes, sir.
GNLN with some volume. Trying to take out that high.
Good stuff there.
392 looks like the big spot to break over.
Getting another Boeing mention. Boy, we haven't looked at that since this morning. So Boeing did hold those lows here. 152 so far has held. And then the low from, what was this? This was Thursday. That low in here, 150. Still holding in there on Boeing.
Yeah, let me take a look at Boeing here. Yeah, that's trying to recapture the 20-day SMA still.
This GNLN looks to be the biggest mover at the moment right now. Decent volume here, too. Watch 4 if that falls.
Big wall at 395.
RGC blast off.
Let's see what the news is.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to... Region Cell Bioscience here.
Yeah, not seeing any news yet. They
Yeah.
might have not hit the wire.
Yeah, I also wonder if that was squawked here. Nope, this is not from today.
Be careful with this one. I can see that on October 10th, we tried to get above the 200-day SMA, which we're above right now, and it got rejected and came back in, closed the day beneath that and the 50-day SMA.
Smoke Tuna, do you know what happened here? I don't see anything for this one. But that's a good mention. That volume stick came out of nowhere, it looks like.
Yeah, it might be moving ahead of the print that we're getting, that we should be getting. Not the short.
Morning, Walter.
Please. Hello, Walter. Vintage Restoration mentioning UAVS. This one we traded last week, and it was a really good drone play mover. What's going on? Oh, it's getting a little bit of a spike in volume here.
Yeah, it's up to the consolidation area from yesterday.
Yeah. What's the news? Not seeing news.
Region cells halted, by the way.
I mean, drone plays they're gonna be, good names to trade for as long as the Ukraine war and apparently now any war goes on, because that's going to be a new age of modern warfare. We're going to be using drones, and we're going to be using defense capabilities against them. If you're looking for defensive plays against drones, look at companies that are using directed energy weapons like lasers.
Yeah, and speaking of which, actually, I know this stock's kind of in the tank here recently. LASC, this is one that we've talked about quite a bit. They actually do have a drone defense product that they advertise on their commercials. Keep that in mind. PRCH. So after we broke out, we came back and back tested that 175 level. Current price here at 174. But if this doesn't break down from here, it's actually not a terrible spot.
Jay Grant. I mean, this is probably a question for you, Ryan. But Jay Grant, this is a great question to ask here. Where can he learn to more about day trading for a beginner?
Yeah, I mean, you can learn right here. You can always ask those questions here. Shout out to YouTube University. I've been a big fan of that. We also have some products here, Jay Grant, if you're looking into that. You can always call up BZ here and talk to James, see if James can't get you some help finding a product there. Lots of different resources here that you can look into. Books. A lot of the things that I would suggest here, really kind of figure out your risk parameters first. And then I would say maybe kind of watch how the markets are trading, and then kind of determine how you're actually going to day trade. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but there's plenty of stuff. Anyone else got any suggestions for Jay Grant here in the chat?
Also getting a mention on GNL and popping.
Yeah, that did break here right through 4. So Smoke Tuna, you were all over this from the VWAP cross down here, about $1.20 prior. Really good stuff here. We're going to have to ring the register there on GNLN.
This was an old ex-girlfriend from back in August. And interestingly, if we can get back above 480, 480 is going to be a big resistance area, by the way. If we can get back above 480, we could go on another excursion here back up into the double digits, possibly. But there's a big resistance area coming up to at 480. There you go. Paper trade while listening to us. That's not bad.
I appreciate that suggestion. I definitely think especially the environment we find ourselves in now, I really think paper trading is even more valuable than it normally is, because the market conditions seem to vary from day to day. A lot of stocks seem to be schizophrenic. One day they're up, the next day they're down. Paper trading, kind of getting a feel for how stuff moves and how quickly stuff can move while still maintaining your risk parameters. I think that's a really, really smart thing to do. So yeah, don't be in a rush, right? Don't be in a rush. Approach it tactically.
And learn some things about how the market climate is. And we hear the difference between the climate and weather. We're trading the weather mostly, but the climate is what the environment is that we're trading in. And Right now, we're in a very extended bullish environment. There's, we're coming up to earnings. Things are very extended into the high RSIs. So you got to understand what we're trading in, and also, look at things that are that help determine what the market's going to do in the day. Like, is the dollar opening weaker today versus yesterday? That's going to give you kind of like a change in the climate and kind of give you an idea of where stocks could go for that day. So look at the trading climate that we're in as well. That'll help you determine whether or not you want to go forward with some riskier trades or not.
Learn when to expect certain things, and when are we expecting data? When are the stocks going to report earnings? How do the stocks react to those earnings reports? A lot of different stuff that you can do there.
And I'll finally say, I know a lot of this can sound and be overwhelming, but you just stick with it and learn every day. Come back and learn piece by piece if you don't have the time. Eventually, a lot of this will start making sense. You'll know what to look for. You'll know when things are coming up, what economic reports to read, what earning reports to read. A lot of things will come clear. This is just, you got to spend time in this market.
Yeah. The other thing is, keep your mind open, right? Because it's not just one thing that works, and kind of observing what's working in certain sectors and what's working in certain, like you were saying about the market climate, what works in certain climates and what doesn't. Always try to keep an open mind there. Amanda, I like this as well. Oops. I'm with Tuna. Once you're out of the paper trading field, go super small. These small trades will rip your face off with real market fill prices versus paper trade fills. That's another really good point here. When you do make the jump over to real from paper, always start small. I also say the same thing. If you're testing a new strategy, start small. If you're unsure, start small. If you've identified that a particular setup, like for example, these momentum names that go into a halt, you realize what that is, go small into those. This is not the position to really kind of take full size on that. So a lot of really good stuff there from the chat. You once again did not disappoint.
R Alpha, I'll just give you a brief story of how I got into this. Day trading anyway. I was investing before I got into day trading, and it's just because
that's how it worked for me too, by the way.
Yeah. Because you can do some things in investing and then not have to look at it every day. So because I was doing other things, but once COVID hit and I had a lot more time, I started getting into trading, and it all began my relationship with Benzinga because I started watching this little show they have here called Pre-Market Prep, and the rest is history.
Guys like Dennis and Joel, they'll do that to you. Yeah. By the way, before I started working here, I was actually a customer of Benzinga for 5 years using this newswire that we're showing you here today. I also listened to Joel and Dennis on Pre-Market Prep. Like I said, when I say YouTube University, I mean, I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, I'm really not. YouTube has been an excellent resource for me. And I know that there are a lot of people in the chat that speak very highly of YouTube and some of the different creators that are on there. So XIII, I have a very similar story in some cases. I found a lot of that stuff. So
I find that... Oh, sorry, I was looking at something. I completely forgot my train of thought. What was it you were just talking about? Help me remember.
How I had worked here prior to being, how I had been a customer here prior to working here. I found it through YouTube University, that kind of being a joke, but kind of also being very serious.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that I find with YouTube is the news is much better.
Yeah.
So
I think mainstream media got a whole bunch of problems. That's another discussion.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting entertainment value out of the mainstream media, but when it comes to some of these things that the reporting that these independent YouTube users and YouTubers and those producers, they actually I think they perform much better in terms of giving you reliable, real information. I think more information, my news more often comes from YouTube these days than anywhere else.
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I watch television networks for live events. I will watch the History Channel when the Oak Island show starts again, just because I'm addicted to that. But for the most part, I'm with you on that. And I'll take it a step further. Podcasting, just in general, is so far superior to the garbage production that you see on television. It's just it like in every way, and you can find a lot of that stuff for anything that you're looking for on YouTube.
UAVS was a great call, by the way.
Which one?
UAVS. That was a great call.
Mira, this getting a volume pop here. Smoke tuna's all over that. UAVS. I took this off my screen. I wasn't watching this one, unfortunately. Oh my God, you're right about that.
That was a great call, and I think that was another smoke tuna mention. Today, probably the last chance to long Boeing at such an attractive price. I don't know. You could be right, but I still feel like there's headwinds to deal with in this company. We already knew about the offering, so that's not why we're getting such massive movement on that. I think the strike is the bigger issue, and if they are even able to sell off the assets in order to raise capital that they're not part of their core business. There's a lot of question marks here, so I don't necessarily think that this is the lowest price we're going to see going forward. I think there may be other opportunities. Just couldn't tell you when. I still think there's a lot of bad things happening at Boeing that make this less than appealing.
UAVS, by the way, while you were doing that, continued to trade up here. Our AI name that we gave you also continuing to move higher here. This looks like 22 is possible. Just took out the 2180 high that it had set earlier. So a lot of stuff cruising here. Here.
I'm sorry, Smoke Tuna, if that wasn't your call. Somebody mentioned it. I couldn't remember who it was. It the Crow? I apologize to whoever.
I struggle with this too. We have so many good chatters in here that sometimes I can't remember who had the crispy call.
It might have been
Vintage Tool Restoration.
Vintage Tool Restoration. That's who it was. Yes. Thank you, sir. That was a good call.
Boom.
And my rants are super entertaining that are Boeing. Well, I want Boeing to be a better company, but we know, we've talked about this a lot, and I've looked into this a lot. We know why they're the way they are, and a lot of it has to do with the McDonnell Douglas approach of doing business when they merged. So, it could be a while before they shake that crappiness off. Who knows? But yes, I would like Boeing to be a better company. It's just that could be a while before it happens. Great mention on GNLN as well, getting up to 478. Wasn't 480 the spot I was looking for? Yep. Right to it. By the way, that was the 65 EMA on the daily for GNL, and that's why we went right to that and reversed.
All right. Vintage Tool.
Do I have the current float for UAVS? Let me take a look.
I do. 850,000.
There you go. That's why it moves like it does.
850,000.
And Wolf back above 7 again. This looks like it's trying to get back above the 7. Somewhere between 710 and 715. There's a breakout spot. Can't exactly pinpoint it, but if we can get up to there and start seeing expansion of volume, that might be where it breaks out. Intraday high in Wolf is 724.
I'll tell you what, this area here looks pretty good for a possible breakout.
Oh, Smoke to mentioning that GMM again.
GMM. Oh, that's okay. GMM is the ticker.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, is this an AI name? Global Mofi AI? Penny stock?
Yeah, apparently they were invited to the NVIDIA forum.
Did anyone mention ARM? Bigabees? No, we did not. And ARM actually pretty decent ramp. Whatever ended up happening with ON Semiconductor. Okay, so they did go green and then they held it after that initial sell-off. Interesting
that ARM is rallying because they are still amid that fight with Qualcomm.
Yeah.
And I think the news that we got on Friday was that they, or maybe it was earlier than that, but on Friday I think it was, they think they canceled all their license agreements. They did something with the against Qualcomm that is going to probably end up shaking up the results of this lawsuit that they're in. That's an ongoing thing. So there's a bit some question marks with ARM and Qualcomm still. Also, ARM looking like it's trying to form a head and shoulders pattern on the daily.
Real quickly here, Citi sees, quote, minimal impact, end quote, to Qualcomm, but possible drawn out fight with ARM.
Yeah.
So just kind of on what you were talking about there. Citigroup doesn't think it's going to be all that bad, but could be drawn out.
Yep. That's it. Okay, wow. Guts is ripping now. As soon as it got past 3.
Oh my God, this was so money. This was so money. What do they do? Therapeutic focusing metabolic diseases, including type 2 diabetes and obesity. You know, this there's a lot. I'm actually on the side learning a lot about metabolic diseases and all of that. This could be interesting. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna watch. I don't own any of this, but I'm gonna watch some of this.
Bitcoin lost 69,000, trying to hold above 68.5. It's on its way to trying to recapture 69,000. We'll see if that's what we end up getting. AMIX, one of the ones we were
it was one from earlier.
That one seems to be finding support around 1350. It's been kind of getting support from that level all morning. We just need to see it turn around and recapture VWAP. VWAP I have at 1606.
Crow says, "Wow, it's 11 a.m. already. Time flies. We try to make it fun for you. We do have 6 more minutes here, Crow.
Yeah, PXDT.
6 more minutes.
That one that we was
said stay away from.
Yeah, that's going to unregister. That's been doing nothing. I don't think there's even a trade here at all. Just even if it does set up or it looks like it's going to provide something, I would just stay away from it. This thing's not going to be on the exchange much longer, and there's better options to trade. All right. So, man, I think one of the best calls that we had, that revenge trade on EVOK, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Right. You know what? VWAP and then done.
And you know what? So here's the other thing. I was thinking about that because the initial trade, you had got a question earlier about gambling, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, your first trade of the day, trying to be one that has halt momentum, probably not the safest way to do that. So got punished a little bit early on, but then really kind of showed some patience. And it just goes to show you that if you have patience with some of these trade plans, it can really work out for you. How many times have we discussed maybe waiting the first 10 or 15 minutes from the market for things to kind of settle in? Might have also helped here today. But again, being able to just kind of focus, keep on task, being patient with the setup, and then waiting for the trade to come to you instead of chasing the trade, almost always going to be better here. And we were able to claw back here on EVOK. Not a great day because we started off with a loss, but not going to have the not going to lose today on a late Hail Mary.
Got a question here on 1 hour loop. Thoughts on Palantir earnings next week? Well, we are at 45 today. We also hit 45 on Friday as well, but we're not pushing higher. We might be kind of consolidating up here, possibly into earnings. Now, if that happens, I would think that we go lower or at least pull back and cool off on this, because look at the run this thing's had all month. This thing is super, super extended. Daily RSI just under 75. I think we might see some cooling off in Palantir. I don't think this stock is done, but I think it does need to cool off. What we could end up getting here with this one, it's really, really set up to execute a really nice cup with handle. So we're gonna I could do some measurements and tell you how I arrive at some levels I'm looking at if we do get that formation set up. But I'll bring that to you tomorrow. It seems to me like Palantir, in my opinion, needs to do a little bit of cooling off before we can push higher. That's what I would like to see.
Okay. Good stuff there. By the way, real quick here, Just to kind of, oops, I pressed the wrong button on my keyboard. Just to kind of clean all of this up, bang, we're going to send that to the chat. So Tom's asking, are we going to have Anne-Marie on tomorrow? Yes, as far as I'm aware, we are. But Amanda coming in with the other call here. If you're a pro member, we have her at noon today. Remember, folks, I know we bring Anne-Marie on here on Tuesdays and Fridays, but remember that she's also a part of Pro, just like Amanda's talking to you about. In fact, Anne-Marie has her own room here where she's given out different Zoom calls for you to join. All of this comes with your Pro subscription. If you're looking for a deal on Pro, I went ahead and put James's contact in the chat. He's going to be the man to help find you a deal. So if you just need to get started here today, you want to go check out Anne-Marie's room, there you go. Call my man James. He will hook you up. Okay, couple of minutes until we're done here for the day. Been a decent start here.
Oh man, decent. I think undersells it. This has been a great morning. Everything there have been so many things this morning where we're like, oh, if this happens and this happens, and we'll get this. More times than not, that's worked out. I'm really, really happy with the way things have worked out this morning with identifying levels, watching volume, just being patient. I don't think nobody really got hurt too badly this morning. I know you had your EVOK that didn't go too well, then you revenge traded and succeeded at that. So I think it's been a great morning.
Yeah, well, first of all, as far as the EVOK thing, did it small, so despite taking an L early on, you're not out of the game. And so a clawback was totally possible. Tom here saying, can I get Anne-Marie on my phone? Yes, you can. And actually, I don't, you know what? Shame on me, 13. I don't do a good enough job talking about this, but now that Tom has brought this up, I do want to mention that there is a BZ app. All right, so let me see if I can, let me go ahead and load it here. There's actually a Benzinga, I'm going to go full screen for this. There's a Benzinga app that you can get in the App Store, okay, for Android or for iPhone. And here's the best part. If you click chat, all of the rooms that you have available on the research site and on the Pro site are going to be in your app. So if I just click on Benzinga Pro, look, there is the list of all of the different, I know it's tough to see, but there's a list of all of the different Benzinga Pro chat rooms, and Anne-Marie bands are right there. Here is Anne-Marie's room on my cell phone. As Amanda was saying, you can join the Zoom link right from the phone. You can do all of that right from here. So even if you're on the go, if the chat room is going to be one of the most important things for you, our team here has an app that it's not Pro app, but it's tied in to some of those different chats there. So really good stuff.
AMIX. This one's turning around after it's halted now. Turn around, blasted off through VWAP, halted above it. This we weren't looking at this for a curl and a rebound, but that's exactly what it did after consolidating pretty much all morning for the past hour. Anyway,
folks, we are at time here. I gotta say, this was an amazing morning. I want to personally thank each and every one of you too, 13, but each and every one of our chat members here that joined us. Gotta be honest, was not thinking today was going to be a real great day given the what took place over the weekend, but you folks surely turned it around. Amazing stuff. We're going to send you over to Apex Trader here. We're going to be back tomorrow. 13, any final words?
Hey guys, you did great. If you're all done trading for the day, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, just be careful. Don't lose the gains you made, and then we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, folks. That is 13. Thanks, everybody, very much. Another successful episode of Live Trading.